Doing great.
Good. Sully, oh my gosh. You
Yes.
just released a track last week.
I did.
First one in a fucking minute.
9 months. It's been 9 months.
It's been 9 months. It's been a journey, but you've reached the end point.
Yes, and
That's all that matters.
Quarantine was good for like stacking up tracks, but now that festival shows are coming back, it was like when I made it at the beginning of quarantine, that was actually the intention of the song in the first place. It kind of felt like a summer upbeat vibe, so
Yeah.
I wanted to put it out at this moment. Like stuff's
Yes.
coming back, it fits. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, this is the type of music that, our genre is designed to be played in festivals and clubs. So
Yep.
that makes sense to hold on to stuff. Now you're seeing like the bangers start to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It was interesting, and I don't know if you found this, but during quarantine, it was like the mood of bass music changed in this way. When festivals and shows are active, I always want to it's like, when you're getting ready for a show or like after the show, you're like in the mood to listen to that music. But during quarantine, like I found myself making a lot of other stuff that wasn't, really banger attitude. And honestly, it's like it's made me shift my long-term vision in terms of like what I'm going to make too. So it's like, it's pretty wild. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So can you tell us about this like long-term shift?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is just working with vocalists,
That's the way to go.
I think my goal in music is just bangers are great, but at the end of the day, I want to make a record, like something that has a little bit of timelessness to it, something that fans can latch onto, give it a little bit more shelf life. So I think working with vocalists gives you that opportunity, or at least a little bit of a better opportunity. And it could be a one-line phrase. It doesn't even have to be this extensive verse, chorus, whatever it is. It can be a one-line phrase. But I think just working with vocalists is a big key for that.
I feel like from a consumer standpoint too, that's what people attach themselves to. So. Because, you look at someone who maybe isn't involved in the back end or, they just love music. Yeah. The first thing that they will always say is the lyrics. The first thing that they'll always say is, oh, I remember that melody, the girl vocalist, the feature, X, Y, and Z. So it's definitely, I feel like that is the direction in which you have to go to create a longer shelf life. Yeah. And I also feel like that's the direction that our industry in general is traveling to, especially post-COVID, where, you weren't really listening to bangers in your kitchen.
Exactly. Like, the mood just, I don't know, it's changed so much, but I'm excited for, I'm at least doing it with my production, as I know a lot of my friends are doing, working with vocalists or working to get vocalists on tracks. And it's, like I said, it's not that it doesn't discredit just a good old-fashioned banger with a cool pre-drop vocal or anything. But, I think I'm excited for the, all of this music that's going to be unleashed because of what happened,
Yes.
Try to go look at the positive of what happened over the last year,
Absolutely.
Have to look at it that way.
Definitely, and it's we made it through. We're at Forbidden Kingdom. We're here. It's very surreal. I haven't been out in the crowd yet. I plan to go after our podcast, but when I played Sunset 2 weeks ago, you just look and it's nothing ever happened. Yeah. And you're just holy fucking shit.
It's almost, it was obviously a horrible, horrible thing, but it's in this weird way it ignited the industry in this cool way. Fans are excited, not that shows were getting stale or anything like that, but I feel like fans are just more pumped than ever to just get back out there and do the thing, it's awesome to see, and it feels great to be back. It's only my second festival that I've played. And
oh my god,
yeah, it's only my second.
No, this is fucking exciting. It's a huge festival. It was originally independently owned, and then Insomniacs took over the concept. So that's just why it's this massive fucking thing now. Yeah,
in Boca Raton, right? That's I was there last year with.
I'm sure I saw you probably briefly, because I was gonna say the last time I saw you was at Janice Live in St. Pete with Liquid Stranger on the tour. Luzcid was there, and Mitchell Taboo was there.
Yep.
And you were just telling us how you had food poisoning. So tell me the story about you and food poisoning.
All right, everybody.
Okay, let's go.
This is going to be All right, so it was really embarrassing at the time, but you know what? I think I was gonna eventually
We're past it.
I was gonna talk to Twitter and Instagram about this story anyway, just because I think it's so funny now. So, we're in Tallahassee the night before the Tampa show, and I was hungry, and I went to a Mexican restaurant that was right across the street from the venue that we were playing at, and I ate like a chicken quesadilla, some rice, beans, or something like that. You know, it's a normal
Mexican food.
normal, just normal meal you'd get. Didn't really feel right as soon as I ate it, and I go to Yelp right afterwards, and all of a sudden I see numerous reports of food poisoning, like in the Yelp reviews, like 1 star out of 5. I was just like, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be horrible. So,
Tell it.
I'm telling the whole thing.
Okay.
This is the best time to tell it.
It is.
This is gold.
It's great.
So I get through the show. Like, my stomach was hurting, but I get through the show, and I did not feel well at all afterwards. Like, I was sitting in the green room the whole night, sitting on the bus trying to get water in my system, doing whatever I could. Finally laid down on the bus, and we're starting to travel over to Tampa. All of a sudden, about 4 a.m, I wake up, and it's time. You know, I'm going to. I did not feel good. I won't go into the gruesome details.
That's right.
But
Yeah,
I did not feel good. So I run up to the front of the bus, and the only people that are awake are me, Martin, and the bus driver.
Oh,
Thank
great.
God. So not everybody was up. It's like think about how funny that is. I haven't had the Sully project for that long. This is my first bus tour ever,
and it's a huge tour to get put on.
Food poisoning on the bus.
Yeah.
And so I run up to the front and I'm like, V, I need you to pull over. I need a rest stop right now. I gotta go. And as I'm asking him, I'm not even exaggerating this a little bit. We're going past the last rest stop for 20 miles.
Oh.
For 20 miles. And a sign is like that blue sign that's on the side
like in a movie,
of the
slow-mo, last rest stop for 20 miles.
It was horrible. So he's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to pull over on the side of the road. So pull over on the side of the freeway. I run into the woods, and long story short, I left my shorts with my AirPods in them somewhere in the middle of Florida somewhere, because I am not.
Oh my God. That's a mess.
There
That's
you go.
something you'll never forget.
No, absolutely
Martin will
not.
never forget it either.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. I've been so worried that a storm's going to hit and just blow the whole tent away, so that's fine.
The best part of it, too, was I'm doing what I had to do. And Martin's on the bus, and he's like, dude, it's okay, man. It can happen to everybody. And then he just starts cracking up. Like, he's trying to support me, like yelling out the window, or like yelling out the bus door, trying to support me. But then he's like I can hear him laughing at the same time.
And at this point, probably everybody's awake. Like, why the fuck?
Nobody woke up. No. They all found out the
dope.
next day, though.
Yes.
They all found out the next day, because I don't know who said it something. I'm guessing it was V or something. But everybody, I woke up the next day, got some good sleep. I felt better after that.
It just has to run through your system, because it poisons your whole fucking body.
That whole time in Tampa too, I felt horrible.
I would have had no clue. You were covering it up very well.
Well, by the time that we met up after the show too, I felt better by that time. But the whole day, I didn't eat anything that day.
No.
I ate like a garden salad.
Yeah.
With
just
and
try
I
to get
maybe
something.
ate half of it, some croutons. That's all I ate. I couldn't keep anything down. Because on top of that, I was I lay, so instead of going back to my bunk, I slept on the couch the whole night. Yeah. And I was just constantly yakking. Yeah. Just over and over again. So, it was horrible.
First bus tour.
Yeah,
it's gotta happen
the
to
rookie.
someone.
It's so funny to look back at though.
It's at the time, it's like, oh fuck, this is kind of embarrassing, kind of shitty, really bad.
I got over it pretty quickly though.
Exactly.
I thought it was pretty funny the next day.
Well, I feel like with the Wakaan fam too, especially the community, Liquid Strangers, built and embodied, all of the guys on that bus have to just be whatever, bro. It doesn't matter.
I got some pity, and then I got some shit after, so
I feel like that's family things.
Yeah. But, long story short, check Yelp reviews.
Check Yelp reviews.
Yeah.
You should have left a mean Yelp review.
Oh, I didn't do that.
You should have said, I'm a touring artist, and I was stuck on a tour bus with food poisoning from your restaurant.
Yeah.
-5 stars.
I don't know if they're still open, but it's.
Do you know the name of the restaurant?
No,
we have quite a Tampa following.
You know what I should do is I should look. I remember the venue in Tallahassee, so I should just look up the venue, and then the restaurant was literally in the same like parking structure.
We'll put a disclaimer.
Yeah.
I'll literally just put all restaurants in the same outlet as this venue.
A closed
Beware.
captioning during this podcast, just like
yes,
just like.
And I'll say Mexican.
Do
so
not
they know.
do not go to this restaurant when you're in Tallahassee, Florida.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been really cool to watch you evolve with the Wakaan family. And
Thank
it's
you.
such a close-knit group of artists and other people who help, you know, the whole team beneath Martin. It's a huge team. Like wonderful people like Chloe, like all of them.
Yeah.
Loper.
Yeah.
Because Loper's your manager,
Yes,
right?
yes. Yep.
Love Loper.
Yeah.
He's fucking super dope. I want to have him on the podcast one
Yeah.
day. I would love to have him.
He'll be here at 11. Maybe you can snag him.
Maybe I can snag him.
He's like, when I first talked to Loper, so I put out my first song, and by the graces of nature, it's not like, I don't know how, but he, you know, a week later, I got a DM from Loper, and he's like, hey, can you send me your music? And, you know, within 2 weeks, we were on the phone, and he instantly felt like a second father figure. And so does Martin at this point. Like, they feel like family right away. And, you know, at that, like, early stage, you get, like, management offers and, like, and whatnot, but nothing clicked like I did with Loper. He feels like a brother/father to me. It's like it's just you just know right away. It was one of those things you know right away. And he's taught me a lot. Like I've just like I think the biggest thing with Wakaan is like obviously the community that we're building, but loyalty and like just like I don't know, they have my back like none other. Like that's amazing. It's crazy. Like
and then I know you're like really close with like Jake, G-Rex, and Matt, Peekaboo, because you were telling me that you left LA in this whole like shit show to come back to Detroit, and you guys are all from Michigan.
Yes.
So did you know each other previously?
Yes.
Okay.
So Jake is a few years older than me and Matt. Me and Matt are the same age. We all went to Western Michigan University.
That's so funny. Didn't you all play frat parties? I remember talking to Matt one time, and he's like, we all played in a frat basement together.
We literally would like I was like I had like all the equipment. You know, I had like CDJs and speakers. We would literally just
you were the guy.
Put the shit in my car and drive up to wherever and set it up, bar, frat, like whatever, and we would just play, and it's amazing. So I think to this day I can confidently say I am the longest current G-Rex fan. I don't think there's anybody that's more of an OG fan than me. I saw him play probably like within his first or second year of making music and DJing, because you know he was a few years older, but he was still at Western. I saw him play a Red Bull pool party, and he was playing trap music, and I was like, none of my friends like this. This is I'm by myself here. I'm sitting behind him while he's DJing, and I'm just like, let's go, baby, like the whole time. And I didn't know Jake at that time. It was just kind of like I admired what he did. And now I can say he's like one of my closest friends, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But how me and Matt met is awesome. So there was our first year we were at college, they opened up a recording program, like, you know, music production program and we both signed up for it. We didn't know each other at the time, but a lot of the kids that were in our program were composition majors double majoring, or like, you know, music education majors double majoring. And we were introducing ourselves on the first day, and Matt just stands up and he's like, hey, I'm Matt Lucas, and I make dubstep and trap music. And I turn around, I'm like, you're gonna be my best friend. And we like hit it off instantly. Like we were just friends right away. And you know,
I feel like I like see a little bit of Matt in you when I'm talking to you.
You have no idea how many people say
I'm literally like I'm talking to the same person, but that's about it. But I can totally see where all three of you connect. And that's so funny because what are the odds?
Yeah.
Our scene is so small that three of you not only came from like the same university, but like are in the same like subgenre of bass music.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah.
Like, we've definitely like talked about, because we make music together all the time. Like, Matt, obviously after Western we moved out to LA and whatnot, and that was when Jake was still in Michigan, and we were out in LA, and that was actually when me and Jake became close. Like, just talking on Discord, texting back and forth. Like, we made this song click and whatnot, and we just became close. I think it's just one of those things when you gravitate towards people that you see eye to eye with. When I went to Icon, one of my instructors always put it. He used the analogy of a bowl of SpaghettiOs. Like, the people that you vibe with and the people that you resonate with, it's like this bowl of SpaghettiOs, and the dope ones that you flip to the top, and you all just see each other on the surface.
Oh,
I don't know why he used SpaghettiOs, but that was what he used. And
that's great.
I feel like I use that all the time when I'm just talking to other artists, what's it like knowing Matt and Jake, and how do coming up with each other? And it's
that's it.
It's that's the analogy I use, and it works with me. And I don't know, they're two of my best friends, and I'm so proud of them, and what they're doing. It's so cool to work with them.
It's very cool to see all of you guys very much so rise together.
Yeah.
Which is something that does not normally happen, especially in an industry like this.
Yeah.
Usually one person rises, the other people kind of stay behind, but it's all three of you guys really have pushed forward in this experimental kind of forward-thinking bass music.
Yeah.
And it's super fucking dope.
Well, thank
you. Are you guys, you were telling me that you were working on a lot of music that was non-EDM, especially going through the period of time where you weren't releasing all of that bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's do you have any plans in releasing some of that?
Oh yeah, totally. I would still classify it as EDM. I would say it's more vocal centric. So the it could be hip hop, it could be melodic music. It doesn't I kind of classify it all under this roof of melodic bass music with me.
Yeah.
But just having a vocalist in there and tying it into a theme, and telling a story. That's what's important.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what it is to me, and that's why I went with a personal brand too. My name is Sully. Chris Sullivan at birth, but nobody calls me Chris. My mom when she's pissed at me, but
Chris Sullivan.
Yeah. I guess my girlfriend too, but I wanted to go with the personal brand because I think of a Porter Robinson of the world, or or just all these personal brands that kind of just do what they want. You know? They do what they want, and they push forward the music that they want to make, and that's that. And people just appreciate the person. That's what I wanted to roll with. It made sense for me, and it's my nickname, so it just made things easy.
Absolutely, and I feel like there's something so cool about being transparent now, especially in our industry, where the more it used to be more so creating this image where people saw the best 5% of your life and da-da-da. And I feel especially in COVID, it broke down that almost fourth wall where you weren't able to connect with your fans and X, Y, and Z, and you came off the road. And then it's your thoughts on social media and the way, and it may, not everyone's gonna like you, but at least the people who fuck with you really fuck with you because you're being yourself.
Yeah.
And I think there's something super special in that. And sometimes I think artists are kind of scared to tip on toes and piss people off and do whatever. And it's if you're just yourself, you have no reason to apologize for anything.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, and also you have no reason to be scared about the music that you want to put out either. If you're genuine about it and you're making the music that you want to make, who gives a shit? And I also think the community has gotten a lot better at that over the years, accepting everything, and it doesn't really matter. They're becoming more versatile. They're they'll like house music, they'll like pop music, they'll like dubstep, they'll like trap. It doesn't really matter. It's they resonate with the person more than anything, and appreciate what they're putting together creatively. That's what it's about. It's if somebody told me I had to make dubstep for the rest of my life, I would lose my mind, because then I couldn't do that.
There has to be an evolution. There has to be somewhere where an artist goes to, whether that's in the same genre or switching to another genre. I always look at the Visceral Project as the perfect the perfect sacrifice that our scene needed to see to understand the back end of how important it is to respect an artist's decision to do something for themselves and mature their sound or do something that makes them happy.
Yeah.
That's my end, is you should just make music that makes you happy, and if you're passionate about it, someone out there will love it.
Yeah.
And because if you just keep trying to please someone, you're always going to be a step behind.
You're not going to be happy with yourself either.
No.
You're not going to be happy with yourself. And if you're doing it for the fans or the money, you're in the wrong industry.
You're in a wrong
because
industry.
I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of, like, I mean, and I'm sure you know this too. Like, there's to really make money in this industry, you have to, like, it's not just
road.
shows. There's so many pools of income that you can take in. You have to hustle. Like, maybe you get to a point where touring is what you can solely use, but, like, I don't know. I feel like you're just limiting yourself if you don't take advantage of everything.
We have such a special skill set, and people put themselves in this box.
Yeah.
And I personally, when I've gone to I've been writing pop songs recently, doing more singer-songwriter stuff because that's where I came from.
Yeah.
I'd love to send it to you. I would love to sing on a song here sometimes. We should really try and connect and do that.
I love
Singing
it.
on all my new stuff, and it's cool to find that connection, but it's like long term. You know, you want to evolve as an artist, and when you're experimenting in these different genres, I feel like when we went into COVID, a lot of artists that were predominantly making their income based on touring, they were forced to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
And when I go to other when I go to other genres and produce, I feel like it's not necessarily easy from a songwriting standpoint, because I think making a dubstep banger is a little bit different than making a song that's gonna have a great shelf life.
Yeah.
I was talking to Mitchell the other day, Taboo,
Yeah.
and he's like, I make two different types of tracks.
Yeah.
I make fluent, cohesive songs that I pour my all into, and they mean everything from front to back, and I want people to listen to them from front to back. And then I make tracks where I'm just gonna put out some bangers.
It's an amazing way to put it.
It's an amazing way to put it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes so much sense, because in the industry that we're in, you have to be on top of the game and continue to stay relevant.
Yeah.
And it's important to keep releasing or doing something that's Patreon, podcast, YouTube channel, just connecting with your fans over social media. But at the same time, you want to care about the artwork that you release. And I feel like if people stopped putting themselves in this bubble, we would have so much insane art. But I feel like it's very easy to get wrapped up in this niche industry and never leave it.
No, it's not. It's also not saying that you shouldn't do both. You should absolutely do tracks, and you should do, records, right? Tracks and records.
That's perfect.
I think maybe that because that's actually the same exact analogy that I took away from being at Icon too.
How was that?
Oh,
yeah.
It's it changed my life, and people get different experiences out of Icon. There's, there when I was there, at least there's people that go there for the wrong reasons and the right reasons. A lot. They have an amazing history of artists that have came out of there, obviously. But some people might go in thinking they're gonna be the next Jaws, Nightmare, Slander. It's just not how it works. They were just hungry artists that worked their ass off when they were there. It comes
down to work.
Yeah. So I wasn't when I went there, I was deep in my years of producing. I've been producing since I was in high school, but I wasn't great yet. I was, I had a long way to go. So I really used Icon as my opportunity to put my head down every day, focus on what do I want to become. I figured out that, Sully was going to be my brainchild. That's a great brand idea. I figured out all X, Y, and Z to make my music better. That's what I used it for.
Yeah.
I wasn't focused on, becoming this, that, or whatever has came out of Icon. I think you just have to go in there and be a sponge, soak up as much information as you can, because I had a songwriting instructor that worked with Cardi B on her last album that won. Why wouldn't I ask her questions? Why wouldn't I? She's a
you can learn
genius.
something from everyone.
It's even if I'm not producing or songwriting for a Cardi B song, it's if I can take something away from a songwriting class about emotional intent behind songwriting, right? If I'm working with a vocalist and I'm getting that part of believability from them, even if it's just that, like, why wouldn't I soak up that information? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, and I think that's where it comes to a mindset where
Yeah.
you have to understand that you can learn something from anyone.
Yeah.
I can learn something from the stage manager and the audio technician and the lighting guy. I can learn something from you and the
Yeah.
singer-songwriter down the street. And I remember us having the conversation after that Liquid Stranger show
Mm-hmm.
that you really have that vision in mind when you work with a vocalist as to what you want.
Yeah.
And you're one of the, I'm sure a lot of artists have the same back end. You were one of the only artists that I had really heard that from in a
Yeah.
long time. And I think there's something so powerful to that because, I hear the same top lines all the time, whether it's on Splice, whether you get some girl to sing it, but it's like I know if I turn on a song, perfect example, the new Skrillex Noisia, Josh Pan. Dude, I literally, when I was...
How is Noisia going to retire after that?
No, they can't. They can't. I was literally...
Oh my God.
I got my vaccine shot on Tuesday, and I honestly, until this morning, have been feeling like fucking shit, just because I'm healthy, and it's just the way that it goes.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to that yesterday, and I was literally like, a breath of fresh. I was literally like, this is saving me right now.
So good.
And like the sub, I was like, how does the sub sound like that?
Everything
How
is
does it sound like that?
unbelievable.
But with a song like that, I hear the vocals and I get chills.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like that's what you aim for.
Yeah, it's one of like I can tell it's gonna be a timeless record too because it's like I mean
Right.
it is this like I know the melody already, you know, like I know like the point of the song, like the emotional intent that it's trying to deliver, like
Absolutely.
like everything about it. It's like it's so good. I don't know how they're gonna retire after that. They
I
better
don't
not.
either.
I want them to say, just kidding.
I'm
Here's
sure,
another 15-track album for you guys. We're back.
they did some stuff with this group named SleepNet that I had.
I've heard, yeah.
And that shit was wild.
Just like following like I do, I got put on to Sleep Night.
Yeah, fucking insane. I love going down that little black hole of
Yeah.
like the pendulum Noisia kind of realm.
I mean, they're the best in the game. Like
No-
just sound design and
absolutely.
Oh my,
I'm just like, how did that happen? They're like Noisia.
Yeah. They're
But
so good
I
at
totally
like
get that.
they're so good at making songs sound like the track titles. Or like Tentacles literally sounds like a octopus is
Just
swimming
like-
up to me and just swallowing me whole. Like
Yeah.
the way they change the vocal and
It's amazing. They're
literally
gods.
gods.
But
They're
yeah.
so good.
But besides that point,
Yeah.
I'm really happy you're back on the road.
Yeah.
I'm really happy you're releasing music.
Thank you.
I imagine you have a lot of music to share with us very soon.
I have a lot. So we just did the single.
Yep.
Wakaan. End of the and then so for the next 9 months, I think we have releases every month with Wakaan.
Good.
Which is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Or at least is of course everything goes according to plan.
Yes.
But we have EP at the end of this month. 4 new tracks.
Sweet.
And then me and G-Rex have a collab EP
Ooh.
that we are 5
Let's
tracks, and we're
go.
gonna begin rolling that out in August and September, right in time for Lost Lands. And then at that moment in time, Dirt Monkey collab too. I have one with Dirt Monkey that we're planning on putting out this year. And at that point in
Nice.
time, I'll be starting to switch towards like pretty much full on like some of these records that I have with vocalists. So
Very excited to hear. I'm very happy for you.
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming on today.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
Thank
glad
you
I
for
got to
having
talk
me.
to you.
Yeah.
I remember you were like, once we get this shit figured out, I'll come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
How
It was
perfect is it timing-wise?
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
So
Thank you
perfect.
so much.
Yeah.
We're coming to you from Forbidden Kingdom. Fucking catch us set tomorrow. Wakaan Takeover.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.